Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I figured I'd tap in with y'all to currently discuss what's going on in the sport of boxing, man. We're gonna speak about Eddie Hearn saying that Devin Haney is too expensive. And then, of course, we're gonna get into some open boxing topics, man. We're gonna be speaking about the BAM versus, BAM's latest press conference. You know what I mean? We're gonna be getting into whatever the hell it is that this live leads to. You feel what I'm saying? Yo, what's going on? Yeah, my boy Tricks in the building. What's going on, brother? Bad Boom Balloon said, yo, smoking a cig. You smoking a cigarette in 2026? God damn. Times must be hard for that boy Balloon. He ain't playing. Probably smoking them motherfucking Newport 100s. Oh, here tripping. God damn, we gotta tighten up, brother. Definitely gotta fix that over there. You crazy. But y'all go ahead and hit the like button as soon as y'all come in, man. You feel what I mean? It was kind of tough to come up with some subjects for today, man. Sometimes I'll be feeling like either the topic, you know what I mean, ain't all that interesting to me or the people. Sometimes it's a topic that we've already discussed, and I'm not trying to sound repetitive. You know what I mean? And we go live on a daily basis, so sometimes there's shit that's you know already been spoken about. Yesterday I didn't get on the live. It was the wifey's birthday, so we went out that night. You know what I mean? We went out, got some good food, all that shit. And what I also wasn't able to tell y'all is my book has officially been approved. Y'all boy is the motherfucking published artist. I mean, not artist, not a published artist, a published author. That's right. That's right. That book is published. It will be released soon. I'm gonna be providing some more updates on that as the release date gets closer. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's been supportive throughout that whole time. It is a children's book, so I'm not really banking on any of y'all to read it. It would actually be pretty weird if y'all chose to read a children's book with y'all time as grown ass people. But for anybody that has kids, likes to read to their children, it's definitely going to be the book for you, man. I took a lot of time, a lot of consistent work, to be honest with you, to get that all put together, and it's face a little bit of obstacles along the way. Got the book turned down like what 6, 7 times, but I mean we fixed the mistakes that we needed to fix, and they finally gave us the green light. So um, I'm happy to say that I am officially a published author. Would have never thought I would have been, but shit, life is crazy, man. You know what I mean? And this is actually what you say? Sound like they arguing outside. That's for sure. Yeah, it's definitely sound like they're arguing outside. But yeah, man, I'm actually looking forward. Since this was such a dope process, and now I got a good understanding of what it takes to actually put out a book. I'm gonna give myself some time off from that. No, honestly, I'm definitely take a few months off, but I'm looking to create a series, for my son. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. Who else? Josue Hernandez. What's going on, y'all? Let me know what y'all repping. Let me know where y'all from, man. Salute, salute, salute. By the way, I think I just reached a milestone, man. One of my reels hit 25,000 views. You know what I'm saying? Which was very dope. That is probably the highest viewing video in Mazuma TV's history thus far. You know what I mean? In terms of regular videos, I think my highest view video is at like 17K. So for it to hit 25,000, man, that's dope. I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in and everybody that's been subscribing to the channel, based off of that video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you guys are staying up late enough to check out the lives that we do on a regular basis. You feel what I'm saying? My boy Tricks in the building said boxing took a L, man. What we talking about? Tricks, talk to me. Let me know what you talking about. Talk about some of the fights for next week. We speaking about Inoue and Junto Nakatani? Are we speaking about Zordo Benavidez? Because that must be what you're referring to. Because next week, from what I understand, is fight week. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna have me a busy little week next week for sure. But for the most part, yeah. We could definitely talk about that. That's nothing. You feel what I'm saying? I actually seen I was seeing Junto Nakatani and his pad work and stuff like that. And to me, it just he looked sharp, first of all. He looked fast, looked strong, which is all good signs. You know what I mean? There's only so much you could tell from pad work, to be honest with you. But I'm seeing Junto, hitting the pads, at long range as he usually does. He's a fucking beast at keeping the range and then catching guys at the end of his punches. He's actually masterful at that, and I think that's why he's been as effective as he has been throughout his career, because he has a good understanding of range and knowing how um, knowing how to catch guys at the end of his shots. And I think that's what makes him so devastating as a power puncher. You know what I mean? I think it's just gonna come down to June. It's gonna come down to who is able to be effective at their range. Who's gonna take over the range of the fight? You know what I mean? If Nakatani is able to keep Inoue at the end of his punches and run him into shots, and just running him into shots and turning them, Junto may be liable of knocking down Inoue clean the fuck out, or possibly outboxing him clean. If Inoue, with his in and out movement, his athleticism, his quick first step, if he's able to, catch Junto Nakatani off guard or make him freeze up, and then he's able to be, at close range, mid range, whatever the case is, I can see him having a lot of success as well. And the problem with Inoue, based off of like his previous fights or fights where he's gotten knocked down and stuff like that, he gets a little bit too greedy, man. He gets a little too greedy. He doesn't, it seems like he abandons his distance at close range, and that's why he's been able to get. That's why he's been getting knocked down by guys like Cardenas and Luis Neri and things of that nature. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of times, from what I saw, he had gotten clipped by left hands, left hooks. You know what I mean? I don't think you want to get hit at the end of one of Junto Nakatani's left hands. That could be lights out. That could be devastating. And I'm seeing Inoue's mentality going into the fight, that losing is absolutely unacceptable. And that's what you always want to hear fighters say. To be honest with you, you want them to have that winner's mentality. But I think this is just more than a regular fight for both of these guys. This is literally for the crown in Japan. Like, this is gonna be. This is going to ultimately decide who's the best fighter to come out of Japan in their era, you know what I mean, and possibly all time. You feel what I mean? This is like lifetime bragging rights right here, whoever wins this fight. You know what I'm saying? So Junto, pound for pound level fighter. Inoue, pound for pound level fighter. The winner of this may possibly crack the top three. Inoue, in my opinion, is already at the top of the list. If Junto were to overcome a fight when Inoue possibly beat him, he may take that spot. You know what I mean? He may take that spot. If Inoue destroys Junto Nakatani, he may have a strong case for being number one. You know what I'm saying? Because, Alexander Usyk, he a bad motherfucker. Undisputed at cruiserweight, undisputed at heavyweight multiple times, beat top guys multiple times. You feel what I'm saying? And, Usyk, to be honest with you, from what I heard, he already got a retirement date in mind. So he's got one foot out the door as far as I'm concerned. He's on his way out, which understandably so. Usyk getting up there in age, and he's accomplished a lot for the time that he's been in the sport of boxing, right? So, of course, you got to hang it up eventually. But, Inoue will make a strong ass case for being pound for pound number one if he goes ahead. And it depends, obviously, on the fashion in which he, beats Junto, if he beats Junto. But if, let's say, he were to stop him, knock him out cold, whatever the case is, as good as Junto is, that'd be a hell of a fucking statement. And I would place him number one. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would really place him number one pound for pound. Now, if Junto goes ahead and he sparks Inoue or whatever the case is, he's definitely top three, in my opinion. That's just how I see the shit. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. That's been coming in so far. Shout out to the 13 people in here. My boy J Cash in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Marissa Alvarez, what's going on? Shout out to the little sis. Josue said, if Inoue doesn't stay disciplined, he's gonna get caught, and dude has already been dropped 3 times. If Juso lands clean, it's over. Hey man, I could definitely see Inoue getting dropped in this fight, especially early. You know what I mean? But one thing that we say about Inoue, you know what we could also say about Inoue, all right, man, like he's gotten knocked down. But each time I seen this man get knocked down, I seen him go on to knock that person out. So that speaks to his character, that speaks to his resiliency, that speaks to him as a, you know, in terms of mental fortitude, that speaks a lot about him as well. Because I've seen guys get knocked down and completely be checked out from the fight, like Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? We seen him get knocked down with Tank. He wasn't himself. He ended up quitting in the fight. Seen him get dropped by Rolly Romero. He went into survival mode. He ain't want no smoke after that. You know what I mean? There's just some people who mentally check out after facing them type of situations. So the fact that Inoue has been in those situations and got up as if nothing happened is very impressive, man. Some people that you know that gets to their head and then they second guess everything and then you know they question being there and you know they don't want to get embarrassed like that again. Because I let Andre Ward tell you, Andre Ward said when he got knocked down by Sergey Kovalev, he felt every emotion like possible in those 8 seconds that referee was counting. He said you feel anger, you feel embarrassment, you feel sadness, like you feel a million different emotions in that one time. And for you to be, you're basically being, I guess you could say, overstimulated with emotions in that small moment. You know, you probably don't want to feel that again. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't want to feel that again, and that might be what make a fighter, you know, take less chances, be overly cautious, you know, things of that nature. So, you know, I seen Inoue get his ass hit with some crazy hooks. Boom, go down. Boom, like he fall all ugly and shit. And you know, he will find his way up, stay composed as if nothing happened, and keep continuing to be himself and continuing to take chances and you know, ultimately breaking the fighter down to get them up out of there permanently. So, you know, it speaks a lot to Naoya Inoue's character. Trick said, "Did you see the Senate hearing on Ali Act? Well, Oscar, Nico, and Nick Khan look like it's gonna pass. What are your thoughts, Mazuma?" Well, I actually took the time to, you know, watch. I watched the small clips at first, and when I heard Oscar De La Hoya's, you know, what he wrote out, when I heard like his viewpoint and stuff like that, I thought he said some pretty solid things. You know, it was very similar actually to what he was saying on his Clapback Thursday. It looked like he just wrapped everything into one large, I guess you would say, paper, like a paragraph. And he provided some solid points and stuff like that. But what I'm gonna say is, man, and I watched Nico Ali Walsh, you know, say what he had to say. I thought he represented himself well. It's just that it just seemed like Nick Khan was more prepared than these guys. You know, not only that, but it seemed like I don't know. I can't prove it, but it seemed like Ted Cruz didn't really do any research on the topic at all. It was just a lot of generic ass questions that, like, you know, like questions that a casual boxing fan would ask a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched a lot of these interviews with casual boxing fans with like top boxers in the world, and they just ask the dumbest shit. Like, you can tell Ted Cruz wasn't really doing all that deep of research. Like, that wasn't at the top of his, you know, list in terms of doing like a deep dive and really figuring out the pros and cons to, you know, amending the Muhammad Ali Act and shit like that. Not only that, but it seemed like Ted Cruz um already had an understanding with Nick Khan, you know, prior to the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? And then I also seen Oscar De La Hoya getting questioned and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, man, Oscar De La Hoya, I didn't really feel like he was prepared to answer those questions neither. Like, I could really appreciate Oscar actually taking the time to go over to Washington, D.C. and actually trying to fight it out with these, you know, powerful people in the entertainment industry like Nick Khan, you know, because I didn't see any fight. Like, I'm surprised Bernard Hopkins wasn't over there. You know what I'm saying? Because Bernard Hopkins was somebody who actually went to what I understand Washington, D.C. to get the Muhammad Ali Act in place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you know, Bernard Hopkins is one of the guys who's a strong proponent of the Muhammad Ali Act, just based off of previous situations he had with promoters and stuff like that. I didn't see that. Bernard Hopkins was there. The only people I really seen representing going against the amended Muhammad Ali Act was Oscar De La Hoya and Nico Ali Walsh. And I seen, you know, it was a power move to bring in Nico Ali Walsh over there because he's Muhammad Ali's grandson and all of that. But at the end of the day, like, he's not a big prominent figure in the sport himself. He's just an icon's grandson. You feel what I'm saying? But just based off of how the way Nick Khan was interacting with Ted Cruz, I ain't gonna lie, like this shit looked like it was rehearsed. It looked like some shit they already had spoken about. They probably sat down and had dinner, prior to that, and they had their little conversations back and forth. It just seemed like Ted Cruz had it seemed like he had a chemistry with Nick Khan. Like they actually had some type of relationship outside of that. And when you look at guys like Nick Khan, who's heavily involved with the WWE, from what I understand, these guys have great relationships. Have a great relationship with the president of the United States, Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? That's things that we do know. We used to see Donald Trump on WWE giving money away. Yeah, firing people and all this bullshit. Like they have a long standing relationship, man. So when you have these type of political connections, it's easier to get shit done, in terms of amending laws and things of that nature, man. So I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what they're gonna vote with that whole situation, but it looked like, it may very possibly be a situation that Muhammad Ali Act gets amended. That's just what it looks like. I don't really know all the ins and outs and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna lie, like Nick Khan was, he was very prepared, man. He was very prepared. Like you could tell this is something that Nick Khan was really, getting his shit together about. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that he was already mentally prepared for all the questions that was gonna be thrown his way. Like as smooth as he was answering them, it seemed like the motherfucker already had the cheat sheet on him. You know what I'm saying? It's like it kind of felt like a script was being read and these motherfuckers is just following it. That's just what it sounded like to me. Like it seemed like there was already some type of conversation that was had prior to that. They already had an understanding, and it wasn't like they were really brushing off Oscar De La Hoya and Nico Ali Walsh, but you could tell, they wasn't really all in with what they were saying in comparison of what Nick Khan was saying. That's just how, that's just how it came across to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. Uh, yeah, man, and that was another weird situation. I remember that as well. They said they really asked Nick Khan if he was going to bring WWE to Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, man, it's raps. Now, yeah, like, you could tell like that. Let me know right there that Nick Khan, and Ted Cruz seem like they're gonna be scratching each other's back. To you scratch your back, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You know what I mean? One hand washes the other, and both hands wash the face. Meaning, I help you out, you help me out, and together we could get some shit done. That's just what it seemed like to me. But we'll see. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, that shit looked like it's already a done deal. Look like they already had some type of agreement. And Ted Cruz, he's a very influential figure in politics. I'm assuming. So, they probably gonna follow his lead, approve that amendment, and we're gonna see whether that's helpful or detrimental to the sport of boxing in the future. You know what I mean? But guys who sign with Zuffa, y'all better be ready, man, because y'all signing with Zuffa, seem all cool now and all that, but when you aren't able to get sponsorship deals, and you know what I'm saying, you can't get sponsorships on your trunks, and you got to wear certain clothing. You can't express any type of individuality. A lot of this shit going to be uniform based. Not only that, but you literally ain't gonna have no type of transparency in what the money that's gonna be brought in. They're not legally obligated to give you any of that information. You know what I'm saying? And let's say the fight that you're headlining generated $100 million. They're not going to tell you that, and they're going to give you, and they're going to hand you over your $3-4 million that they promised you, and they're going to be keeping $96 million in profit. So, understand the type time that they on. They're going to have a similar model to the UFC. Y'all see exactly what's going on in the UFC. You see that these fighters are getting paid pennies. They're getting paid pennies, which is why they're retiring and coming over to boxing to make up for lost money. You see that these fighters over in the UFC, they complaining about their wages, begging for increases, and being upset because motherfuckers like Conor Bennett's getting 15 million, being absolutely nobodies, while these guys are fucking first ballot Hall of Famers in the UFC and could barely get these motherfuckers to give them $5 million. Ilya Taporia just signed a Richard Mille deal, a Zuffa fighter. Ilya Taporia is not a Zuffa fighter. He's a UFC fighter. Isn't Zuffa boxing? But listen, like Conor Ben has proper 12. What I'm saying is those are business ventures outside of the octagon. Anything pertaining to the octagon, you're not gonna be able to monetize off of. You know what I mean? I remember when guys like BJ Penn, Rampage Jackson, uh yeah, Zuffa owns the UFC, but they're two separate entities. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's Zuffa boxing and you got the UFC. But those I don't think they could stop a fighter from getting a endorsement outside of, or maybe Ilya Taporia has to cut them probably has to cut them a percentage of that endorsement deal. But motherfuckers like Conor Ben had proper 12 and you know what I mean, all that other shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like maybe he has to cut them a percentage because maybe they own his likeness or I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Uh Said Conor McGregor fights has Conor McGregor promotions in the ring. Listen, I don't even remember the last time that motherfucker fought. Last time I seen him fight, he had his leg snapped or some shit like that. But regardless, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Are you trying to say it's all about what you can negotiate? Okay, if that's the case, then why are all these fighters begging? Why is the UFC having to settle for for hundreds of millions of dollars in antitrust lawsuits? There's a lot of bullshit that goes on for them. You know, what could be said that's without a doubt, these fighters get the crumbs and they leave with the majority of the bread. Simple. Simple. Now, if that's the model that you want over in boxing, you don't really give a fuck about getting the majority of the profits. You know what I mean? If that's not what you really care too much about, as long as you're getting paid what you feel like you're worth, and you want activity, you want to be taken care of from like a nutrition standpoint. You want to have great resources like the UFC Performance Institution, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Then whatever. You know what I mean? I think that Zuffa will be a good platform for fighters who are coming up the ranks. You know what I mean? Fighters who don't have like that big push and don't have that big back and don't have access to much resources. You know what I'm saying? See. My boy Trix asked the question. He said, Mazuma, do you think other promotions like Matchroom, Top Rank, and Golden Boy will have to adapt and form their own UBO, just like Zuffa to survive in boxing? I don't know. I really don't know. It depends on. I guess it would depend upon how successful these UBOs are. If the UBOs are something that you know, uh, slowly but surely take over the sport of boxing, then I'm sure that Matchroom, Top Rank, and Golden Boy would have to, adapt with the times, like you said, and form their own. But I don't see them, forming their own UBO if they're still able to compete with Zuffa. I don't see them having to convert over to a UBO if they're still making big entertaining fights and still having, and still making it, a big profit off of the sport. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on how it affects them from a, a money standpoint. Because if they're affected money wise and they're not making the money that they usually make, there's one or two things that they could do. They could walk away from the shit and shut down and close their doors and call, bid a farewell to the sport, or you can adapt. But that's actually a really good question. I have no idea. I think it's too early to really even speak on that. Because for one, there's no, we don't even have a UBO yet to begin with. Now, if they pass that, they're able to get this shit in motion, then we'll see. We'll see, man. But as of right now, I think it's too early to tell. Yo, you saying that are you saying that I said that they was old money? Is that what we saying? Are you saying that I said that? Because I did not say that, not one time. I never said that fighters were owed money from the UFC. So I don't even know what point you making, brother. I really don't. Let me see. All I know is these motherfuckers ain't getting paid what they feel like they worth. You know what I mean? And these motherfuckers got to make up for lost paydays by coming over to boxing and getting beat up by Jake Paul. That's what that's what the fuck the UFC come down to. For real. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. If y'all wanna, you know what I mean, if they pass that law and get that shit amended, you know, Nick Khan got like he had like a little cool little pitch to the situation too. He like, yo, like we're not changing the Muhammad Ali Act. We basically just adding to it. And you know what I mean? Nothing change. If you want to stay over on that side, you know, you free to. If you want to come over to this side, you know what I mean? You're welcome to. So it's basically like, I mean, if you want to come over here, cool. If you don't want to come over here and continue to do what you was doing prior to this, you know, law being amended, that's cool too. Oh man. Josue said, did I hear Connor's fight in July 11th? I ain't even a UFC head, but I gotta watch that. I don't know, man. I keep hearing that Connor's gonna fight, and then he's not fighting. I heard he was gonna fight. What the fuck is that dude name? He fought everybody and their mom. What the fuck is his name? What's that dude name, y'all? He fought Dustin Poirier. He fought a lot of people. He was like, didn't they say he was a firefighter or some shit? He a dog though, but he, you know, he get beat up a lot too. Um, I think his name start with like a C or something. Fuck. It's not Chill. That no, it's not Chill. Shout out to Chill Sonnen though. What the hell is his name? Anybody know? Conor McGregor was supposed to fight this dude. No, not Stipe. Not Stipe. No, Conor ain't fighting no Stipe. But Stipe was a firefighter. I could be wrong. What the hell is that dude name? Michael Chandler. It was Michael Chandler. Sorry about that. Then I was hearing that he may possibly fight Max Holloway. And look, man, I don't know what's going on with Conor. I don't really feel like, in all honesty, he really showing that urgency to want to fight. You know what I mean? I think the motherfucker, I think he get like an itch to fight here and there. You know what I mean? And then he fall back. He get a little itch to fight, then he fall back. Man, Conor McGregor's best days are behind him. To be honest with you, he had a good little run. He had a dope little era while he was around. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, I don't really see him doing anything too much in the UFC where like he goes on this generational run. You know what I mean? Times have changed. Uh Fucking idiots. I can't stand them, bro. Wherever I move next, like I'm gonna make sure I don't live nowhere near no fucking fire department. No, not Justin. No, Michael Chandler is who I was referring to. But what? He said, "Yo, I'm an MMA guy. I don't really have a lot of respect for this boxing shit. I think it's very limited combat. I ankle pick and elbow." Well, first of all, good for you. Um, you know that this is a boxing channel though, so if you don't really have a lot of respect for boxing, then why are you watching this channel right now? This is I don't even know why you came over here because this is open boxing talk, not open MMA talk. And our title of our video has literally nothing to do uh with MMA, so I don't even know why you're here. And for us to have such limited, you know, limited combat, y'all sure do love to talk about us. Y'all always want to associate y'all name, you know, MMA fighters' names with boxers. You know, if y'all feel so superior to us, then why do y'all feel the need to always talk about us? See, like when you really feel like you're superior to someone, you shouldn't never feel like that. Really, that's like arrogant behavior. But like if you don't ever talk about niggas you doing better than. I never heard of somebody hating on the motherfucker they doing better than or better than at something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't be talking about these niggas. I don't be worried about niggas. I know niggas can't fuck with me when it come to this shit. You know what I'm saying? And boxing is very alive and well. We're actually doing a lot better than the UFC if we're being honest. Y'all motherfuckers ain't got no motion. Y'all ain't got shit going on. You know what I mean? A lot of shit died down once McGregor stopped, rumbling and all that. Boxing is still alive and well. We're still getting the best fights. You know what I mean? We got a lot of good shit going on, brother. I see why you over here. I see why you over here. Because ain't nothing going on at MMA right now. What's going on at MMA? Who fighting who? I don't even watch that shit. Like, I don't get it. Trying to keep it alive. I don't have to try anything. I could disappear off this internet and boxing will be alive and well. My whole thing is just doing what I have to do to keep that shit. What? 8.8 billion. No one's seeing that money in boxing. What's 8.8 billion? What are you talking about? How much the UFC is worth? This nigga, we fight all night TV like a strong advocate for Zuffa and all this shit based off of how the way he talking. So you saying that, okay, so if that's the case, if the UFC doing so much better than boxing, then why are we not talking about them? What they got going on? What they doing? Let me know what they doing. We fight all night. What are they doing that's so significant right now that's overshadowing boxing? And nobody in the UFC seeing 8.8 billion neither, because they all because they all struggling to keep their motherfucking lights on. Fuck is you talking about? UFC White House. Bro, they literally got motherfuckers on there that don't even represent America on that card. Couldn't even lock in John Jones. I think it's kind of lock in John Jones. Couldn't even get Connor on the card. I niggas couldn't do shit. Yeah, UFC fighters constantly call out boxers for paydays, not the other way around. They all do. Connor had to step out of the UFC to get his career high payday. Literally solidified his fucking financial freedom off of a fight in boxing. You seen Jorge Masvidal and motherfucking Nate Diaz rumbling each other in boxing. You seen Ben Askren go to boxing. That nigga was a pure wrestler in boxing. You seen Frank Mir boxing. Anderson Silva boxing. Tyron Woodley boxing. Ilya Taporia calling out Terrence Crawford. Kamaru Usman calling out Canelo. Conor McGregor calling out Floyd. Like, that's all they do. That's all they do. Y'all motherfuckers want to get some attention in the UFC, call out a boxer. When the boxer's not even worried about y'all. They be even giving y'all respect. Like, I ain't doing that shit, getting kicked and kneed and all that. Niggas ain't doing that. UFC dudes, first thing they do is talk. Sean O'Malley talking shit about Gervonta Davis and all these other motherfuckers he was talking about. Y'all be calling out boxers, and then y'all be like, why don't y'all come to the octagon? Dickhead, because they not calling y'all out. You missing the point. We fight all night. You missing the point. If the UFC doing so well, if the UFC is doing so well and they doing so much better than boxing, 8.8 billion. Oh, they got a network deal with Paramount. Why do all of these fighters had to resort to boxing when their careers are done and over with? If they doing so well, they should be retiring and not have to worry about anything else. This nigga Ben Askren almost died and couldn't even afford his health insurance bills. Jake Paul had to step in and take care of that shit. They said Jake Paul came to the rescue. A boxer had to come to his rescue to take care of Ben Askren and his medical bills. Because boxing is easy money. Okay. Whatever the fuck that means. You talking about the sport where niggas where over 10, double digit people die a year in the sport? That's what you talking about is easy money? Tripping. 8.8 billion and still can't make John Jones versus Aspinall. There's a lot of fights they fumble for real, for real. Y'all saw what happened with James Toney when he came to the UFC. Okay, we seen what happened when you brought McGregor to boxing. We seen what happened when you put Frank Mir in boxing. You seen what happened when you put Ben Askren in boxing. You seen what happened when you put Tyron Woodley in boxing. The fuck? What are you talking about? You see what happens when you put a fucking boxer in the octagon. No shit, dumbass. That's not their martial art. How about when you put you see what happens with Ngannou, you put him in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Like, what the fuck? Like, these things, like, if it's not your martial art and you stepping into somebody else's who's a master or at least very experienced in that martial art, is not going to go well for you. I seen Shannon Briggs do K1 and he said that he was about to quit because how many times he was getting kicked in his fucking legs. He got his power bailed him out. Yeah, that happens. McGregor got stopped. Nigga, who gives a fuck who landed more punches on Floyd? What the fuck? He got stopped. The fuck? Oh, he landed more punches. So because Floyd was walking him down with a high guard. And he didn't, and Floyd didn't do that with Pacquiao. What are we talking about? Floyd. So if you walk down somebody with a high guard, you ain't gonna get hit. Floyd was pressing him off the rip, gassed him out, punched on him, stopped him. He didn't do that with Pacquiao. He was boxing Pacquiao. He was moving. If he'd have did that with McGregor ain't want to hit him either. He just knew that the nigga ain't have a gas tank. He walked him down, let him get his punches off. When he started to fatigue, he started letting his hands go. He stopped him. The fuck? Niggas, you trying to give niggas credit after being stopped. Nigga, if you get stopped, you don't get no credit, nigga. Give a fuck what martial art you came from. You step in there, whatever happened to you, happened to you. Got a lot of love for my MMA people, man. I trained a lot of I helped Jeremiah Wells with his boxing. A lot of Muay Thai fighters I helped with their boxing that are still amateurs and doing very well. Pro Muay Thai fighters. I appreciate every martial art. I just don't like when motherfuckers be trying to talk down on boxing. And at the end of the day, boxing is literally like the sport in combat sports. We got the deepest history, we got the more iconic people. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk combat sports without talking about boxing. I think the UFC is I love it. I like what the UFC doing. It's just like there's no me understanding why niggas always got shit to say about boxing. Shit is corny as shit. Okay, I'll drink that. Damn. Y'all definitely ain't got more. I remember at like one point in time, y'all motherfuckers had Conor McGregor. Y'all had John Jones running around. Y'all had DC. Y'all niggas had Max Holloway was doing this thing. Khabib, Justin Gaethje. Y'all niggas had Israel Adesanya running around. All them niggas gone. I remember Tony Henderson was still around. Y'all niggas ain't got shit going on. I remember watching way back before everybody was even talking about the UFC. Chuck Liddell, Rashad Evans, Prime Rampage Jackson, Shogun Rua. You had Lyoto Machida. You had BJ Penn. You had Frankie Edgar, George St. Pierre. I remember watching all of them guys because my step pop loved watching these niggas, bro. Love watching it. I'm like, yo, this shit actually kind of lit. I ain't going. I was able to watch Anderson Silva in his prime. I'm like, yo, this nigga's a beast. You feel what I'm saying? No, bro, they don't got them niggas no more. Like the UFC don't got them standout guys no more. All these motherfuckers, none of them motherfuckers jump off the page for. I'm sure y'all got a lot of talent, but ain't none of them niggas stars. Hell yeah, that era was fire. Shit trash. Shit trash now. McGregor gone. He gonna come back whenever he come back. John Jones, nigga said he got arthritis in his hips. Nigga need to go shoot up some stem cells in Mexico or something. He need to go to Tijuana and get that shit situated. You know what I mean? Because over in the US, the stem cells they give you, you know what I mean, the FDA, you know what I mean, they give you bullshit. So you need to go ahead to Turkey or Tijuana or something, get that shit together. You know what I mean? That motherfucker, he halfway out the door. He was already talking about retirement. Like y'all got like, you know, Piera. Yeah, y'all got whatever the fuck Chama. Y'all got that nigga Alex Piera. Y'all got him. Y'all got Ilya Taporia, who's on the come up. You got motherfucking what's that motherfucker's name? I like that one dude, Hazmat Chimaev. I fuck with him. Um, the fuck is that other? I like Armand. I seen he was in Philly the other day. Israel. No. What's that motherfucking name? Islam. I forgot his last name though. His name Islam Makachev. Yeah. So what's the other dude name? His name is Hazmat. Oh, okay. Kamzat. Whatever the fuck his name is. Hamza Chimaev. You got Islam Makachev. Yeah, y'all got some people. You said it's a global market. We got stars all over the world. We do too, nigga. Fuck you talking about? We got them too. We got we can start in Puerto Rico. We got Dominican Republic. We got Cuba. We got the U.S. You know what I mean? We got Canada. We got Mexico. We got what's that? Nicaragua. Y'all got we got Argentina. We got Russia. We got Ukraine. We got Uzbekistan. I mean, did I say the UK? We probably got the UK. I don't know if I mentioned the UK. We got Irish fighters. We got fighters all over the world too. Yeah, ain't nobody we don't ever Japan, of course. Duh. Should have said that. Shout out to Durant. Yeah. Islam nice. I like Islam. UFC only 30 years, huh? Don't be trying to deflect, motherfucker. You was the one who was trying to compare. You was the one who was trying to compare, bro. We saying, oh, we only 30 years in. He always got some type of excuse built in. Probably trying to hear that shit. You the one who was trying to make it seem like they above boxing. Probably trying to hear that shit. Trick said, yeah, you right. It ain't no comparison. You right. You definitely right. Trick said, notice how nobody here is disrespecting MMA, but you guys come here with some weird energy towards boxing. Yeah, they hating. He said, "Are you comparing an entire sport to one league? You talking about that one league who basically monopolized the entire sport of mixed martial arts? Yeah, that's what we're doing. And they're attempting to do the same thing over here with these UBOs and boxing. There are more MMA promotions. We know that. Bellator, you got one. I know that, bro. I know that. Hence why I said monopolizing. But regardless, man, I don't really give a fuck to talk about the UFC all like that. I don't even know why we was talking about it as long as we was. Bellator don't exist. Well, it used to. I saw they got PFL. Yeah. PFL, all that good shit. I remember Bellator. Bellator was a thing though. Let's not act like it wasn't. You know what I mean? Y'all quick to fucking compare UFC to boxing whenever it benefits the UFC, but whenever we back in boxing, oh, you comparing the league to a sport, y'all do that all the time. You was just flexing an $8.8 billion deal that fucking that UFC got. UFC got more money than boxing. Okay, okay. Yeah, Pride was wild. So yeah, you can compare a league to boxing when it benefits you, but then when it don't benefit you, then you want to bring it up. Oh, it's a league, and nah, nigga. Who in boxing doing these numbers? What fighter? What? How much of them? I don't give a fuck what 8.8 billion with Paramount and all that shit. What are the fighters making? Let's compare that. Let's compare that. Okay, so where show us if they're making that much money, show us what the fighters are making. Yeah, that 8.8 billion, cool. How much are the fighters getting of that? Come on, man. UFC might have, yeah. All right, bro. I don't give a fuck what dude talking about no more. So what y'all want to talk about, man? I'm gonna leave this up to y'all. Y'all want to see this little clip that Eddie Hearn said about Devin Haney? He said it before, honestly. Prior to him, fighting Brian Norman and shit like that, but he's reiterating it, basically saying that Devin Haney, um, Miller versus Perro, who you got? I don't know. I really don't know because for one, I never really watched the Bull Perro fight. I watched his other brother fight live in Philly. But I never, from what I understand, a lot of people don't think much of the dude of the Pero that Gerald Miller's fighting. I really can't say I never really watched dude fight. Gerald Miller does look slimmer than what he has previously. Um, but he still looks like he's well over 300 pounds. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. So I really don't know. I really don't know. Miller didn't really look impressive in his last outing either, in my opinion. Uh, he was fatiguing and he really didn't look like he was in great shape whatsoever. But yeah, this is gonna be my introduction to Pero. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. You know what I mean? So Miller versus Pero, that's a solid fight. Yeah, I didn't really expect Gerald Miller to get that. You know what I know Anthony Joshua gonna hang up the gloves soon. Probably just gonna fight Tyson Fury and ride off into the sunset. Understandably so. But I need to see that Gerald Miller and AJ fight, man. I want to see that so bad. Obviously, we wasn't able to see it the first time because Gerald Miller's a fucking drug cheat. You know what I mean? He got caught doing what he was doing. I never really heard him explain that shit neither. You know what I mean? At least it didn't come across my way. So Eddie Hearn said Haney can't sell. I mean, listen, I bet you Eddie Hearn wouldn't say that if Haney signed with him. See that's the only thing that be bothering me about these promoters, man. It's like you don't sign them. Like if you're not signed to them, you know what I mean? They'll air out all this dirt about you and they'll say all this crazy shit. But the moment you sign with them, oh yeah, man, you the best thing since sliced bread and all that shit. I'm like, bro, I understand, like, you know what I mean? You basically gotta change your tone up in accordance to the situation as a promoter. But it's like, bro, why can't y'all like even if you not signed, if you don't have the motherfucker signed to your promotional company, why can't you just either keep that shit neutral or just, you know what I mean? Give motherfuckers they props and keep it moving. If Devin Haney feels like if Devin Haney feels like he's worth a certain number and you're not able to accommodate that, or you feel like that's too risky to give to a fighter, just let it be known and go about your way. I don't be liking how these promoters be acting like they could tell a fighter what they should be getting paid. That's not up to you, brother. It's either you could accommodate it or you can't. Simple. It's either you could accommodate that or you can't. Simple. You feel what I'm saying? Like you can't like I ain't hear none of y'all motherfuckers say that Canelo Alvarez wasn't worth 100 million, but they gave it to him. You know what I mean? And I bet you they ain't make their money back on that. I'm willing to bet them niggas lost money after giving Canelo that bread. Eddie got Miller versus Pero as a main event, and we can guarantee that ain't selling right. Like motherfuckers ain't even talking about that fight. If motherfuckers ain't bring it up in the chat, I would have forgot to speak about it. You know what I mean? They keep talking about this motherfucking Miller hair, this motherfucker man unit falling off to promote the fight. Like, bro, that was the last time. What's going on now? Look, his toupee fell off his last fight. Check it out. Like, bro, we seen that 1,000,001 times, bro. That shit went viral months ago. Let's move on now. Not gonna lie, Eddie Hearn might be promoter of the year. The events he's putting on is so good. Facts. Yeah, so Eddie Hearn definitely snapping. He got a strong little lineup coming up. I just seen that Bam press conference. You know what I mean? Bam got swag. I fuck with Bam's I fuck with Bam's style, man. You know what I mean? And you can tell he ain't doing too much. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he ain't doing too much. He ain't trying to act like somebody he ain't. I mean, cooling. He definitely got potential to be a superstar. Did y'all see that Bam Rodriguez press conference when Antonio Vargas? Bam said he want the winner of Inoue Nakatani too. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Both of them are dangerous fights for Bam. I ain't gonna lie. Anonymous said, "Man, it's a shame Devin struggling to get a fight. You're supposed to keep building momentum off a big win like that." Yeah, man. It just seems like maybe. See, this is what I think is going on, right? I think ever since that Ryan Garcia fight, everybody and their mother has been trying to go out of their way to undervalue Devin Haney, right? Because even though he was cheated and stuff like that, because he performed the way that he did, they treated it as if he lost, and they try to undercut the man. He ended up, getting real lucky with having Turkey Al-Sheikh, around to pay this man handsomely for whatever it was. He said that he didn't even have to negotiate. They told him a price, and they took it immediately because it was well above what they thought they were going to get, or it was highly, it was a lot more higher than they were planning to shoot for. So let's say they gave him, let's say they offered him 10 million. He probably was only looking for 4, 5. Oh shit, you giving me double what I was about to ask for? Okay, cool. So I think Devin Haney, as a result of that, pretty much got spoiled with them paydays, back-to-back paydays. So he feel like that's what he's worth now. Now, I'm gonna say this: Turkey Al-Sheikh has the ability to put up that type of money and not really give a fuck if he doesn't make a return on investment. These promoters though, um, they're gonna do everything they can to make sure they make their money back. They're not just gonna be giving away that fucking bread and just be like, oh, if we lose the bread, then we lose it. Especially if you're not signed with nobody. So I could see the promoter's viewpoint at times where it's like, why are we gonna be giving you insane amounts of money if, for one, we don't know if we're gonna make that money back, and two, you're not signed with us. So you want to continue being a free agent, you want to demand all this money, and then you may possibly take everything from you may possibly beat our fighter, leave us with debt. You probably gonna leave us with our titles, you know what I mean, our status, you know what I mean. You're gonna level up, and then you're just gonna leave us with a fight where we possibly lost money. You know what I'm saying? That's probably how they see it. Like, we're not about to be taking this risk. Eddie Hearn said it. Eddie Hearn said, "Bro, I'm not gonna be taking this. Like, if he was my fighter, I probably would have took the L And I think he was referring to the Devin Haney Sandor Martin purse bid and shit like that. He was like, bro, I'm not about to put no money in. I'm not about to bid on that fight. Like Devin Haney was upset that Eddie Hearn didn't bid for the fight. Like, bro, no, like I'm not about to be putting no money up for this fight if I feel like there's no money in the fight. I mean, if you was my fighter, I probably would have took the loss, but no, you're not my fighter. So like so Devin Haney basically wanted all the benefits of a signed fighter, but not signed with him. Like it didn't make any sense to me. I ain't gonna lie. Robert said Bam ain't going back to 115. Well, I seen an interview that Bam did after the press conference and with that girl, I forgot her name. I forgot her name. I ain't gonna lie. She used to have her own channel. And she, that white John. I forgot her name. Annoying than a motherfucker. But Bam said that he's going up to 118, and if there's a possibility to become undisputed at 115, he'll go back down. But he also said that if he feels better at 118 than he does at 115, he'll probably stay there. So it just sounds like to me, Bam is just he's gonna go with what feels right in that moment. He's not really decided yet. And Robert Garcia could say this, but it's not up to Robert Garcia at the end of the day. You know what I mean? As a trainer, and trust me, I'm a trainer. You know what I mean? It's basically up to the fighter, and we could choose to either support it or we don't. We can't tell fighters what to do. Even if he's his manager, still can't tell him what to do. Especially when you're on Bam's level, he basically could do whatever he feels is best for him in his career. You know what I mean? And you got to justify your percentage and follow through. If not, then you'll be replaced. Let me see. Devin and Rich fight is a good one. Are you referring to Hitchens? Testing themselves. What you think about that? I love it to keep moving. Your message is a bit all over the place. I'm not trying to. I think I understand what you're trying to say. What do I think about Richardson Hitchens and Devin Haney fighting? I love it, but I've been hearing little things where they're saying that Devin Haney might possibly sign with Zuffa. I don't know how true that is, but if it's a situation where he does sign with Zuffa, or at least there's an offer on the table for him to sign with Zuffa, um, that'll be huge for Zuffa. If they're able to get Devin Haney, that's huge for Zuffa. But Devin Haney versus Richardson Hitchens, I think that's a great fight. I think that's a great fight, man. It's really hard for me to trust Richardson Hitchens nowadays, considering the way that he's been moving, and just to me, he's an insecure guy. I think he's somebody who really uh doesn't really want to take like these big chances for some reason. Like he just to me, he come across as scared money. That's what it sounds like to me, to be honest with you. Could be wrong, but it's just too many situations that I've come across with Hitchens where it just made me feel like he got picks. And in Philly, if you got for those of y'all who don't know what that means, if you got picks, that means you're selective with who you want smoke with. You feel me? So that's just how I perceive Richardson Hitchens at this moment. But if he fights Devin Haney, I think it's a great fight. I think it's going to be I'm going to love to see the battle of the jabs. That's what I'm going to be looking forward to the most between them guys, because both of them guys are big jabbers. But I do think that Devin Haney's better than Richardson Hitchens in terms of IQ, versatility, in terms of offense. 'Cause I do feel like Richardson Hitchens can be repetitive. And not only that, but I just feel like you know, his straight shots are literally like all he really that's like his go-to, and it's just repetitive over and over again. It's rare if you ever see any type of creativity from Richardson Hitchens. You see creativity with Devin Haney. Not only that, I think he has faster feet than Richardson. I think he got faster hands than Richardson Hitchens, and I think he's more proven at an elite level. Experience does play a part. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's not the deal breaker. It's not the thing, but it could definitely be the reason why somebody wins or loses a fight. So I would pick Devin Haney in that fight if they were to fight. Like we talking about Richardson Hitchens' biggest wins are two Australian guys who, are limited. In my opinion, like Liam Paro, I put a lot of respect on his name. He could fight. He a dog. For him to do what he did to win his first world title against the prime Subriel in Puerto Rico, you gotta respect that. But there was physical attributes that he had a huge disadvantage going into the fight with against Richardson Hitchens, and he paid the price for it. Wasn't rangy enough. Jab wasn't good enough. He wasn't. He was the inferior athlete in my opinion. I feel like all those things played a part in why he lost to Richardson Hitchens. And then George Kambosos, over the hill lightweight, who been stopped prior to fighting Richardson Hitchens. Significantly smaller, you know what I mean? And you could just tell like the size difference was real apparent between the two. So there's that. Dana White gonna put a pit bull on Devin if he go to Zuffa. What you mean by that, next gen? What that mean? Dana White gonna put a pit bull on Devin if he go to Zuffa. I don't know what that means. Are you referring to Isaac Cruz? I don't know what you mean by that, brother. Chavez Jr. is back in action this week. Is he really? Who gives a fuck? Who's he gonna fight? I thought didn't he get booked after he got his ass whooped by Jake Paul? What happened with that? I guess he's free. That's interesting. I don't even know why people still talk about Chavez Jr. Like that just goes to show how much they respect Chavez Sr. The fact that they still talk about him, regardless of how much he's fucked up and disappointed the Mexican people, man, Chavez Sr. must get a whole lot of love, man. I want like Chavez Sr. gotta be embarrassed by his son, bro. Like, man, I wouldn't even man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I can't even imagine my son doing that. He thought it was funny to bring up. Yeah, it's definitely funny. It's actually, yeah, it is funny. But damn, man, I didn't even know that. Josue Hernandez said, "Yo, Mark, have you seen the Puyo Smith undercard? That shit's solid as fuck." Let's actually take a look. The main event sells itself, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to, this fight. This is really gonna show exactly what Dalton Smith made of. Because if he go ahead and he beat Albert Puello, that's gonna be crazy. But let's check out the event. Let's see who's on this. So you got Ricardo Sandoval versus Galel Yafai. That's gonna be for the WBC. Josh Padley look like he fighting for a European title. Look like a British title is gonna be on the line. Ibrahim Nadim versus Ibrahim. So they both got the same name. Ibrahim Nadim versus Ibrahim Suleiman. Okay. Leo Tang. I've been hearing about him. Up and coming heavyweight kid. Yeah, yeah, I've been hearing about him. He 19. He got a lot of time. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I don't really see nothing that jump out too much on this undercard, brother. You said that the undercard was solid. I'm trying to figure out what seemed like a regular John to me, Josue. God sucks. He lost to Jake Paul. That's funny. Trick said Dalton Smith, my favorite UK fighter right now. Who's my favorite UK fighter right now? I think I answered that question already. I like Moses Atama. Moses Atama. That's a that motherfucker a beast, bro. I think he's gonna be the future of the heavyweight division, bro. That motherfucker with them level changes, that speed, the accuracy, bro. The athleticism, the explosiveness, the power. he throws every punch well, bro. Like his punches don't be too wide. I mean, his punches, he got fluidity in his punches too. He don't be stiff robotic with it. I think Moses Atam is my favorite fighter from the UK right now. You think Puello? Yo, how many of y'all think Puello gonna whoop on Dalton Smith? Y'all think so? I think that shit gonna be real competitive, man. I think it's gonna be a chess match in there. I think it's gonna be two motherfuckers that's gonna be looking to I think it's gonna be two motherfuckers in there displaying their skills. We're gonna see a good boxer versus a good counter puncher. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Dalton Smith is gonna be effective offensively when Albert Puello gonna be sitting there waiting for you to get some shit off, and then he's firing some hot shit right in between your punches. You know what I mean? That's gonna be a good one, man. If Dalton Smith is able to, beat, pretty much get in and out with them punches, get some quick shit off, get out of range before Puello, get some counters off. You know what I mean? That's gonna be interesting. Anonymous said, I got Puello, not gonna lie, bro. The truth. But that Matias fight was very tough, so I don't know. Yeah, that was grueling, man. And Paro, and to be real, not Paro, Puello, I don't believe he's fought since then. So that's interesting. But I'm gonna go with Puello. I'm gonna go with Puello. But damn, I picked against Dalton Smith the last time, and he proved me wrong horribly. Like he made me look so dumb. But to be real, I don't think anybody knew Dalton Smith had that in him. Because he never showed that in his fights. So how the fuck I'm supposed to know? I'm not in the gym with him. But man, he buckled down and he went band for band with Matias and got him up out of there. Oh my god, I still can't believe he did that shit, bro. Came over to New York. They said that he had a flight delay. He had to take a last minute flight to get to New York, and he heard Matias was on PEDs and lead up to the fight. He still didn't care. That motherfucker Dalton really proved that he deserved that, bro. Everything he had going against him, everything that he could have easily been like, man, fuck no, like I ain't about to be fighting no drug shit. I'm about to, man, fuck this shit. He could have scrapped that whole fight and kept fighting in the UK, and motherfuckers would have been okay with it. He was like, no, we still gonna get this fade. When they beat this shit out Matias, man. Oh my fucking god. Matias claiming he about to get another he claiming he about to get another world title. Good luck with that shit. Cause if Matias go ahead and he packs somebody up and he become world champion again, I'm like, yo, this Super Matias might be the most inconsistent motherfucker of this generation, bro. Yeah. Anonymous. That's what I'm saying. Like he showed us something that we had no idea that he had, and Matias was hurting him. There was exchanges where you could tell Dalton had gotten hurt. Like Matias was ringing his shit, but his fucking his determination, his dog, his resiliency, like it got to the point where Matias couldn't take that shit no more, bro. Like he was like, bro, that shit caught Matias off guard. Matias used to punching motherfuckers, them breaking down, and them getting up out of there. Dalton wasn't going nowhere. Is Smith signed to Matchroom? Yes, he is. To my knowledge, he's still with Matchroom. Josue said, yo, Mark, Dalton showed a lot of character. Absolutely tricks. He said, yo, Mark, Keyshawn versus Albright is a good fight. Good fight, but I wish we got Keyshawn versus Martin. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Keyshawn versus Albright because, to be honest, the first fight was controversial considering Keyshawn, popping positive for marijuana. To be honest, I don't think that should have affected the decision at all. I don't really look at marijuana as a performance enhancement drug. But they did what they did. It is what it is. Albright had even hurt Keyshawn Davis in the fight, in my opinion. Keyshawn also went on to whoop on, Keyshawn Davis. Albright, I'm sorry. Albright ended up whooping on Keyshawn Davis's older brother in Norfolk. Keyshawn been in his feelings since then, so he's looking to avenge his brother's loss and pretty much get that victory that he wasn't able to get against Nair Albright the first time. So, that fight has, they got some animosity towards each other. It's a real rivalry. You feel me? Um, I get it. And for one, Frank Martin looked like he was about to get stopped against Nair, bro. Like Nair outdogged Frank Martin. You know what I mean? Had he wobbled all over the ring, and bro, if that had been a 12-round fight, who knows what would have happened? But regardless, man, Frank Martin, he's still very talented at 140. I don't think he expected Nair Albright to be who he was that night. Uh, Nair Albright is one of the motherfuckers that you don't want to put your fighters up against if, they unproven or, they got some shit to work on before they step up. That Nair is not that person. Nair will whoop you if you don't know what you're doing in there. Um, I would like to see Frank Martin versus Tito Mercado though. I would love to see that. I think that'd be a great fight. You got two power punchers in there. You got one with a high knockout ratio who just beat the shit out of Antonio Moran not too long ago. He's building his way up. He's a top contender. He's ranked in multiple sanctioning bodies. Frank Martin coming off of a draw in his last fight. And prior to that, he came off of a spectacular fucking knockout, one of the knockouts of the year, in my opinion. Uh, against I forgot this dude name. He used to have hair, motherfucker bald now. He fought, man, he trash, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I hated that dude style. But yeah. Frank Martin, very intelligent, very athletic, explosive, got good speed, solid power, solid ring IQ as well. I think Frank Martin I think he's pretty intelligent in his own right. And, Tito Mercado, he's not like, he got Mexican in him, but like you can tell he got a bit of athleticism. He be light on the feet. He got a good jab, good punch placement, good power. Would love to see that. Would love to see that. You know what I mean? But I seen Frank Martin hurt Nair. Not nothing too crazy where Nair looked like he's about to get out of there, but you can tell he stunned Nair a couple times with some shots. Nair had Frank Martin look like he was out on his feet at one point in time. He was able to survive and make it to the cards. It was a good fight, man. I think Nair deserved the Keyshawn opportunity. And the fact that Nair, I'm gonna say this, bro. The fact that Nair is going back to Norfolk after the previous situation and all the animosity that's between them, bro, that's some Philly shit right there. You talking about Rancis Bartholomew? Yeah. Rancis Bartholomew. Frank Martin knocked him out cold. But yeah, man, the fact that Nair going back to Norfolk after that situation, a lot of motherfuckers would have been like, "Oh hell no, I ain't going back to Norfolk, bro." Motherfuckers head butted me. They was about to stroll me in that joint, and they was treating me like shit. Hell no, motherfucker going back to Norfolk. That motherfucker going back to Norfolk like nothing happened. Look, you gotta put some respect on Nair name, bro. He ain't with the foolishness. He ain't with that bitch assness. That motherfucker there to fight. We gotta respect that shit. Can't knock your hustle, Nair. I fuck with it. Tito got decent IQ. He do. He do. You can tell he actually thinking in there. He's setting his punches up. You know what I mean? He letting his offense flow. He ain't just looking for the knockout, reckless with his defense. Tito Mercado, he could fight. He talk crazy as shit, but he could fight. He gotta prove himself. That's all. Just like a lot of these motherfuckers do. Like they pass the eye test, they just need that opportunity to show who they really is. That's all. I wonder who Spencer's putting up Martin up against next. I don't know. Look, man, 140 is a deep division, a lot of competitive fights. I don't think Frank Martin got much time to waste, to be honest, man. We don't want to see no tune-ups. We don't see none of that bullshit, man. Put him in there with a competitive boxer, man. Hopefully, they're not on some, PVC versus PVC shit. I mean, get that boy out there, man. Get him some fights. I mean, there's plenty of smoke that he could go to. You know what I mean? Trying to tell you, Tito Mercado a free agent. Tito Mercado versus Frank Martin. It's a great fight. I like it. Trick said the IBF requests Adams' availability for Mortazaliev. About what are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you favor? Ooh, Brandon Adams versus Bakr Mortazaliev. That's a fucking war right there. That's a banger. Who do I have in the fight, man? Man, you can't necessarily count out Brandon Adams, man. He a dog. You know, he's durable as fuck. And he's in there to win. Like, he not somebody looking to lay down and none of that shit. Like, even when he fought Jamal Charlo back in the day, you could tell he was genuinely trying to win. Bakr Mortazaliev, he's big, he's strong, he's powerful. I don't know, man. I could see a situation where, but this is the thing though. Like Brandon Adams, when I was watching him fighting, Serhii Bohachuk is known as a big puncher too, and I seen Brandon Adams bullying the bully. I mean, I seen him in the pocket ripping Serhii Bohachuk, whooping his ass. I mean, that's another thing. Like Brandon Adams, you could count on him to get in a dog fight and be in tip-top shape, tip-top condition, man. So Bakram, that's something that he got to be ready for too, because there's a chance that Bakram might hit him with a good shot and Brandon don't go anywhere. I don't know. That's a 50-50 to me, to be honest with you. Bakram could hit Brandon Adams with a good shot and possibly hurt him. I'm gonna tell you this though: if Bakram can't hurt Brandon Adams, he in trouble. He in trouble. If Bakram can't hurt Brandon Adams, Bakram is in trouble. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Who you got if they fought Liam Paro versus George? George who? Kambosos? Who are we talking about? What's up with Liam Paro? Ain't he supposed to be fighting for the IBF or something like that? What's going on? What's the whole update with them? No, Brandon Adams could definitely punch. Adams could do it. Adams could do it. The only concern is that if Bakram hits him clean, because Brandon be getting hit, bro. If Bakram could hit him clean, hit him with a little sharp left hook, a little counter or something like that, and Brandon don't respond well to that shot, he could be in trouble. But if Brandon could take those punches from Bakram and put that shit on Bakram gonna be in trouble, man. I'm telling you. I think that shit gonna come down to durability in that fight. I ain't gonna lie. Liam Paro gonna beat the shit out Cam. If that's what y'all talking about, if y'all talking about Liam Paro versus George Kambosos right now, Liam Paro, the way fresher fighter, he'll beat the shit out George Kambosos. I'll bet whatever on that. That'd be a good Australia fight. Said Mark, when Boots beats Xander, who you think he goes after next? I just sent some sparring. I just sent, you know what I mean? Because I'm seeing Tiger Johnson out there, with Xander Zayas, which is good work. It's definitely good work. I seen the other, I forgot the kid, Charlie, he over there as well. Listen, man. I got sick of that shit, man. I had one of Boots people hit me up earlier. They're like, yo, man, what's up with that sparring? Who you got? What's up, man? Like, what's going on? Who y'all, you got anybody else in mind? Man, I had to get into my bag. I had to do some brainstorming. Man, I just got the green light to send somebody over to Boost Camp that's gonna be some really good work, man. I ain't gonna say his name. But this kid's like, he's an amateur. But when I tell you that he's a fucking beast, wait till y'all see this kid, man. One hint though, I'm gonna say he from Dover, Delaware. He from Delaware. Oh, who the fuck in Delaware? Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. I just sent some work over to Jerron in this, man. So Boost, man, you got me working behind the scenes to make sure you get good work. Come on, man. How do I feel about Ben Whitaker versus Najee Lopez? Man, I'm a huge fan of Najee Lopez. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'm gonna definitely be rooting for him. But Ben Whitaker seemed like he taking things more serious now. You know what I mean? He seemed like he getting dudes up out of here. I seen he got a first round knockout. Wasn't anybody credible for what I seen. But you know what I mean? Motherfuckers don't belong in there with him. He packing them. So it is what it is. He's showing some, good power. But Najee Lopez a different animal, bro. Najee Lopez, he's very impressive to me. And in his last fight, he showed dog. He went up against adversity, got in a shootout with dude, ended up breaking him down and getting him up out of there. It was one of the best fights of the year that I've seen thus far. But Najee Lopez, he got good power. You can tell he's strong as shit. And I say it all the time. How the way he looks, like his frame and all that. He's like he reminds me of Jamal Charlo when he was at 154, just big, solid, look strong, upper body, big shoulders, stuff like that. Just real sturdy individual. Najee Lopez got a good fucking jab, good combinations. He goes to the body well. That'll be a handful for somebody like Ben Whitaker. Like Ben Whitaker is gonna have to fight a disciplined fight if he wants any chance in beating somebody like Najee Lopez. I ain't gonna lie to you. All that showboating with the hands down and all that bullshit, that ain't gonna work for somebody like Najee Lopez, bro. That's a suicide mission if you take that approach. That fight, that's gonna be a fight where Ben is gonna have to show how technically skilled he is. This, you know what I mean? This ain't gonna be a situation where he's gonna be bopping people on top of the head and be doing and just be having all this fun and dancing in the ring. It ain't gonna be none of that, man. Najee really come for business. Uh, I ain't gonna lie, man. I would pick Najee to win that fight. I really do. Um, Najee he just showed me more. He showed me more thus far in his career. There's a lot of question marks around Ben Whitaker, to be honest with you. How do we know how well he'll respond in like the one time that we see him have a little bit of adversity, his fight got ruled like a no contest or some shit. You know what I mean? They was calling him Ben Whitaker and all that. Like there's still some question marks around his, mentality. You know what I mean? His dog, his determination. We don't know. We don't know exactly where his heart is at. We don't. Like we don't know. You know what I mean? So Najee Lopez, he just checked off more boxes to me. It seemed like I got more reassurance from him. Uh, Not saying that Ben Whitaker is ass or anything like that, but I mean, Najee Lopez a monster, man. He's a monster. If Ben Whitaker were to take that fight, which I doubt, I don't think Eddie Hearn would give him the green light for that at all. But if they were to fight, man, we gonna see. We either gonna see uh how regular Ben Whitaker is or how good he is. Either way, we gonna see. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions around Ben Whitaker. How do we know he's gonna respond well to being knocked down? How do we know he got a chin? How do we know that he could, take a good shot? Like this, there's a lot of shit that we don't know about Ben because Ben has been having a relatively easy time in his career thus far. So, on the eye test, Ben Whitaker looks good and stuff like that, but he hasn't been in there with somebody who is on the level of a Najee Lopez. Yeah, man. Najee Lopez has good hand speed. He got power and he got great punch selection too. And he break you down, man. He go to the body. You know what I mean? And he put his punches behind each other. Sometimes, like when he punches in combinations, motherfuckers don't see his punches; they get wobble. I like his composure as well, man. Like them Atlanta dudes, they got good composure. I don't know if that's just their character. I don't know if that's what they're taught in the gym. But like him and Brian Norman are really good friends, and they share something. They share that common character trait, and that's composure. You know what I mean? Like I've seen Brian Norman in the middle of the storm in his fights, and you can't even, you know what I mean? You don't see him panicking. You don't see him folding under pressure. None of that. He treating it like another day in the office. Seen the same shit with Najee Lopez. I ain't see him panic when he had them cuts, in his last fight. I didn't see him look for a way out. I seen him continuously coming forward, putting shit together and making it fucking happen and getting the stoppage. So, um, I don't know, man. I'm very impressed by Najee Lopez, man. I can't wait to see Najee Lopez, Atifo Burlton, and Ben Whitaker, doing their thing at the light heavyweight division. We can't rule out Atifo Burlton. We can't. Telling you, that kid is special, man. It's gonna take a special motherfucker to beat him. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't disregard him. He's fighting May 9th, from what I understand. He's fighting out in Atlanta, I think. So, look, man. The light heavyweight division is looking very promising. And then we gotta take into consideration that, eventually motherfuckers like Berlanga gonna move up, and David Morrell's still in the picture. He gonna be waiting for the motherfuckers to rise up. It's a lot going on. You know what I mean? And then when Bivol and Beterbiev walk away, David Benavidez still gonna be there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Light heavyweight probably gonna be the next deep division in boxing. I'm telling you. If Najee keeps building his profile, imagine Benavidez versus Najee, PR versus Mexico at MSG or MGM Grand Arena. That's definitely an MGM fight. I ain't gonna lie. They ain't gonna do that at MSG. Man, a lot of Puerto Ricans don't even back Najee Lopez, which is crazy to me. His dad. I think his dad passed away. If that was his dad, either his dad or his grandfather. But his dad, Puerto Rican dude. He rep Puerto Rico all the time. Always got the Puerto Rican flag. He be having his Puerto Rican flag on his jackets, his trunks. He rep Puerto Rico heavy, but it seemed like Puerto Rico not really too sure about him yet. Or maybe a lot of these Puerto Ricans don't want to support him because they probably don't feel like he look Rican enough, which is absolutely ridiculous. But there are some people who are, colorist in Puerto Rico. Mostly like because he Black Rican. But they be backing Shakur. That'd be the crazy shit. Don't Puerto Rico when Shakur whooped on T.O. and they seen that Puerto Rican flag on them trucks, man, them Puerto Ricans was going crazy. It was like, oh, the Puerto Rican Shakur Stevenson. And Puerto Rican, and Shakur is Puerto Rican. His father is a Puerto Rican man. R.I.P. to Shakur Pops, but that was a Puerto Rican man. You can't take that away from him. You know what I mean? But, they are Puerto Ricans, especially on the island. For one, if you ain't born over there, they don't recognize you as a Boricua. That's first of all. Two, if you don't match the description that they prefer, they're not gonna support you like how they gonna support a Xander Zayas. That's Xander Zayas profile. That's exactly what they look. That's exactly how they want their Puerto Ricans to look, for the most part. You know what I mean? They want motherfuckers to look like Cotto and like Wilfredo Gomez and Xander. Like, they love Tito Trinidad, but how could you not love Tito Trinidad? As positive of a person and peaceful as a person as he is, you know what I mean? Who if you don't like Tito Trinidad and you from Puerto Rico, something really wrong with you. Like you have issues. Motherfucking Tito Trinidad, like motherfucking, how can I say this? This motherfucker like the Muhammad Ali of Puerto Rico. He is that much loved. He is an icon that much over there. Ain't nobody will ever try Tito Trinidad over there. You crazy? Make Berlanga versus Najee. They like close friends, bro. These motherfuckers like they got the same trainer. Man, Edgar ain't stupid. He would never fight Najee will pack him. Najee will pack Berlanga. I'll bet whatever on that. Berlanga ain't skilled like Najee. He don't Berlanga got some good, quality, good power, good size for super middleweight. He got decent hand speed too. But Ben versus Berlanga, who you got? I don't know, bro. I don't know. We gotta see a little bit more from Ben before we start putting no questions together. To be honest, now Edgar versus Najee, King of Puerto Rico. Want to bet you trolling? Ain't neither one of them the King of Puerto Rico. I don't think there's any King of Puerto Rico right now. To be honest with you, you got like Oscar Collazo. You got he's unified champion. There's another one. There's a smaller guy. He's a unified champion as well. What the fuck is his name? What's that one dude name? There's this guy in the smaller weights. I think he's at light fly. Yeah, Rene Santiago. He's unified as well. I think he has a WBO and a WBA. You got yeah, he's the weight class up from Oscar Collazo. So Oscar Collazo fight at 105. Rene Santiago fights at 108. Can you imagine them fighting in Puerto Rico at the Roberto Clemente Coliseum? Great fight. You got Amanda Serrano, of course, who was holding Puerto Rico down for a long time while we was getting our shit together. How many champions we got in Puerto Rico right now? We got Xander, we got Amanda, we have Collazo, we have Rene Santiago, and who else? Let me see. I gotta look into that. Who else? Oh shit. I think that's it. I don't think we got any other champions. Shay said, I'm telling y'all, though, Ben actually has real skills. I've seen him fight in real life, but I don't know about his heart. That's gonna be tested, man, because your skills pay the bills, yes. You know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker can't really get to you, if they skill set not up there with yours, you probably don't even have to show heart in order to beat them. There's somebody that you're gonna come across where skills ain't gonna be that skills ain't gonna bail you out. You're gonna need other qualities, man. You know what I mean? So it's all good until a motherfucker press you and you either gonna sink or you gonna swim out this motherfucker. Floyd, skills paid the bills with him a lot of times until he fought motherfuckers like Miguel Cotto that made his ass fight. Marcos Maidana, who made his ass fight. A few motherfuckers. Jose Luis Castillo made Floyd ass fight. Even Emmanuel Augustus, shout out to the drunken master, made Floyd ass fight. You feel me? Like skills be all cool, but you know what I mean? Once a motherfucker neutralize that, you know what I mean? Motherfucker pull your card. Now you gotta show them you gotta show them what you was dealt, man. You gotta show them something. Can Ben beat a dude like Gallegos though? That's one tough journey, man. I don't know, man. That's actually pretty interesting. I mean, I'm sure he can beat Gallegos, but how does he beat Gallegos? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Gallegos will fight him. I don't see why not. Trick said thoughts on Bivol versus Efer. The only mandatory Bivol is down to fight. That's funny, Tricks. I mean, yeah, because Benavidez was mandatory, but I really feel like Bivol technically ducked Benavidez, but it wasn't because he didn't want to fight him. I think Turkey Al-Sheikh gave him an ultimatum. It's either you're gonna take that fight and ruin your relationship with me, or maintain your relationship with me, we can go ahead and do this, and I keep giving you this bag, and you go ahead and do this trilogy with better beef. He chose the latter, obviously. He gave up his title in the meanwhile. He's supposed to do a trilogy with better beef. Then all of a sudden, they didn't want Turkey Al Sheikh behind the fight anymore. Turkey Al Sheikh admitted that he didn't want to do the trilogy in the first place when he literally forced Bivol to give up a title to do the trilogy. Weird. Um, and now these months, they stepped back from Turkey Al Sheikh to go do the fight in Russia. The fight in Russia never happened. Bivol got back surgery, and now he has a mandatory. Now I don't know anything about Efer. I don't. I really don't. But Bivol is if is one of, if not the best light heavyweight in the world. And unless Efer is somebody who is also one of the best in the world, you know, Bivol has what it takes to beat him. But let me see exactly who Eford is. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I'll tell you right now. Let's take a look at some highlights he had about a year ago. Okay. A lot of level changes, uh a lot of measuring with the lead hand. Lead hand is down a whole lot. Seems like a jab first type of fighter. Decent hand speed. A little bit of upper body movement too. Not really consistent with it, but he has it. But he never brings that lead hand back, which is very concerning. If he had more upper body movement, it would probably make more sense. But um, this guy that he's boxing, it was only a 6 rounder. Dude isn't anybody notable. But yeah, he's beating on this guy. But I seen he also fought John Pascal. John Pascal, he had his time. Clearly, it's past his time now. But he's showing me a little bit of the same thing: chin in the air, jabbing, not bringing his lead hand back. So he could be very susceptible to right hands. To be honest with you, he seems to be very aggressive. But he got some decent hand speed though. He's aggressive. He lets his hands go. He does seem to overcommit to some shots, but he seems like a jab first type of fighter. You know what I mean? He measures a lot with that. He does a lot of level changes. He got that little bit. He got a little bit of herky jerky shit with him too, especially when he working with that lead hand. It's a lot of. So it's he could be. I guess he could be unpredictable in some ways. But he's aggressive. He'll throw 3 punches max at a time. But I don't know, man. With Bivol's, in and out movement, his speed, his IQ, I don't see. I mean, Efer could probably present some problems just based off of the little hand speed that he has and his aggressiveness, but that could leave a lot of openness for Bivol to get some big counters off. Um, yeah, he's solid though. Efer is solid. Definitely not ass. I'm gonna say that. So this should be a good one because it looked like Efer bring the fight. But John Pascal was trying to press his ass for sure. But Efer wasn't going for it. Efer don't look like he no hoe. um, yeah, but he seems aggressive. You know, he got some decent foot speed too. He can fight a little bit. No, he can fight a little bit. I mean, I don't know if he fight well enough to beat up on Dimitri Bivol. I think that's a little far fetched, but he can rumble. Like I said, good aggression. Looks like he's in pretty good shape as much as he lets his hands go. His combinations do come across as a bit predictable. I'm sure Bivol could pick up on that as well. It's a lot of 1-2s, 1-1-2s, 1-2-3s. Everything's off the jab. I wonder how he would react if Bivol took away his jab. I don't know if he'd be as sound offensively or as fluid offensively, but he's beating up on John Pascal. I'm seeing this. Decent hand speed. Look like he got solid power. Good combination. Textbook type combinations, but solid combinations. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I wonder how he fight on the back foot, because every time I see him go straight back, he gets hit. Interesting. He hasn't fought in 2 years. That could definitely play a factor. You know why that's even though? Because Bivol coming off of inactivity and he's coming off of a back surgery. So, um, I mean that shit. I feel like that shit cancels each other out. Can't make no excuses for him. He reach a little bit on that jab sometimes too. And his chin always pop up when he jab. Chin definitely ain't tucked when he jabbing. Interesting. But anyways, man, y'all got any last words before I get up out of here? He said, Mark, I wonder who's gonna be on that Shock Raymond undercard. I was saying that I would have liked to have seen Zaquin Moses on the June 27th card, on Boots and Xander. But most likely Zaquin will probably be on that undercard. If I had to guess, he gonna be either one of them. But I think because Quinn trains in Houston as well. I don't know though. I don't know. I mean, some top ranking matchroom matchups would be pretty dope on the undercard. But if not, I mean, get some upcoming prospects from top rank. Get some upcoming prospects. You know what I mean? Houston got a lot of Mexicans and don't know. Ray and Hitchens got working today. For real? That's actually pretty good work for Ray. It's actually, considering that Oshaki, he likes to keep the distance. Hitchens is good at maintaining his distance. That's solid work. They both rangy. They got Mexicans in Houston. Now I'm saying you could throw some Mexicans on that undercard. It says on Insta. All right, let me check it out. Oh shit. Definitely was sparring Hitchens. He's sparring Quinn too. Mm-hmm. That's good work, man. I ain't gonna lie. I see why them niggas want to be friends with each other. Because look how they be helping themselves. Look how they be helping each other out to get sharp for fights, bro. They like, yo, let's just be friends so we could, work together to be successful in this boxing shit. They turning this individual sport into a team sport. That's what it's looking like. Shit, I just seen Raymond Ford with Keyshawn. I just seen Raymond Ford with Keyshawn, Shakur, and Hitchens. Them niggas got like 3 different trainers too. I seen Coach Reg there. I seen Wally Moses. I seen Shakur Cousin. They all working with Ray. Them motherfuckers getting ready, boy. Oh, so he said Emiliano Vargas would be a good name on that undercard. Facts. That was the fighter that popped in my head. That's why I asked if there was Mexicans in Houston. I don't know too much about Houston though. I don't know too much about Texas, period. But I got a few people in the chat that's from Texas though. But damn, I see why these motherfuckers be looking to be friends. Let's be friends so we could beat everybody else. So that's why they be doing this. I'm telling you. They using each other to be ready for when it's time to be in a big fight. This Raymond Ford big fight right here. He beat Shock. If he beat Shock, it's gonna be a great fucking win. 2-division champion. If Oshaki beat Stephen Fulton and Raymond Ford back to back, great names back to back to put on the resume, man. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love as always. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We went to the 3,400 mark. About to crack that 3,500 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation in the mind for making this possible. I'll be back at y'all with another live tomorrow to continue cooking up on what's going on in the sport of boxing. Until then, I hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.